And welcome back, Alaska. Michael Ives here with your Saturday sports. Well, it's another busy weekend for interior sports, and we'll start right down on the Chena River where I watched the Iron Dog Racers take the checkered flag earlier today. The 2014 Iron Dog snowmobile race ended in downtown Fairbanks earlier this afternoon. A crowd of fans gathered to cheer on the racers as they completed the 2,031-mile trek from Big Lake to Nome and finally into Fairbanks. Family and friends waited to greet the winning team, who cruised past the finish line at about noon today. It would be Team 16 coming into sight first along the river as Todd Minnick and Nick Olstad of Wasilla take the 2014 crown. Minnick and Olstad were first into Tanana last night and were able to cruise into Fairbanks well ahead of the competition. Team 16 pushed their Polaris sleds to a total race time of 36 hours, 58 minutes, and 37 seconds. They averaged a race best 55 miles per hour throughout the 2,000-plus mile journey. They'll claim a $50,000 winner's prize and bragging rights until next year's race. Finishing in second place, about 20 minutes behind Minnick and Olstad, was Team 17. Defending champions Mark McKenna and Dusty Van Meter piloted their Ski-Doo sleds along the course and are remaining at the top of the pack throughout the race, but were unable to catch Team 16 down the stretch. Their attempt at an astonishing three-peat would fall just short in this year's race. Third place would go to Mike Morgan and Chris Olds, as Team 10 came in 30 minutes behind McKenna and Van Meter. Olds and Morgan led the first half of the race, but encountered some problems in the second half and fell back into third place. It was a nice finish for Team 10, but it was far from the ending they had hoped for, as their title dreams disappeared in the final days of this race. The 2014 Iron Dog Racers say they are happy to be done and tell us about this year's run.
It's a wonderful feeling. I can't say enough about my partner's strength and will to keep pushing on, and the Polaris machines are just top notch. Not having to do any wrenching allowed us to move ahead of the competition that had to. Just fortunate luck, a lot of test time and preparation. It paid off in the end. Yeah, it feels great. You know, since our 09 victory, we've had a couple of failures and a couple bad accidents, and to be able to come back and still be able to compete with this unbelievable competition that's out there, it's a pretty good feeling.
We rode a steady pace. We weren't pushing it too hard, and we thought we were saving the sleds. And then on the way back, we had some mechanical issues, and our drive shafts failed, and so we lost an hour, well, about an hour and a half. So we weren't able to make up that time on the river. This year was supposed to be our win, but a win is definitely in the near future.
And it's Military Appreciation Weekend at the Big Dipper as the Ice Dogs host the Kenai River Brown Bears for a two-game series. Game one of the set would be a late disappointment for the Dogs, however. After dominating the Bears through most of this season, the Ice Dogs and goalie Kevin Aldridge looked to flip the Bears right out of town. But it would be Kenai getting on the board first. The Brown Bears would take an early 2-0 advantage in the second period before the Ice Dogs would even get rolling. Wyatt Egge would finally cut into the Kenai lead as he dumps a puck into the zone, and smartly Egge dumps it on net, and it sneaks right past goalie Zach Quinn. Minutes later, it would be Yannick Vidal who capitalizes on the 2-on-1 feed from Ice Dog Kyle Lee to tie the game up at 2 apiece. This one would end up going into overtime, where Kenai's Vincent Steffen beats Aldridge with a one-timer for the 3-2 win. Game 2 of this series is tonight at the Big Dipper. Now, the Alaska Nanook Rifle Team is currently ranked number 2 in the entire nation, and this weekend they host an NCAA qualifier at the E.F. Horton Range on the UAF campus. With the NCAA championships set for mid-March, the Nanooks look to cement their place as a weekend favorite, or as a favorite this weekend against the University of Texas El Paso and the University of Nevada. After winning the Patriot Conference title a couple of weeks ago, the Nanooks will be competing in the 8-team NCAA championship field. 3 other teams have punched their cards: Kentucky, Nebraska, and Jacksonville State, and the remaining 4 spots are still up for grabs. The Nanooks also have 4 of the top 10 shooters in the nation in individual points. Sophomore shooter Tim Sherry is tied with fellow Nanook Ryan Anderson for second in the nation in individual small bore scores. He says that the team is in final preparation for the run at an NCAA title.
Yeah, we've been focused on it all year, just keep building and building, and so we'll be ready to peak for championships, or at least that's the plan. So it's just, building process, and right now is a really good time. We've been tweaking a few things this past week, so just getting those positions nice and solid, which we were trying to work on today, but didn't quite work out. So we've got a couple weeks to really get those positions solid and get comfortable in them before championships.
Now to move to high school hoops, where we have to mention the dominance of the Monroe Rams boys basketball team this season. Hosting the Galena Hawks last night, the Rams steamroll their way to a 66-24 win, with Scooter Bynum leading all scorers, notching 17 points on the night. The Monroe Rams stay unbeaten at 20-0 on the year, and they've now won 40 straight games dating back to last season. They're also the defending and back-to-back 3A state champions, and they'll look to complete the three-peat with the prep basketball playoffs closing in. While we are on hoops, I gotta mention the Alaska Nanooks are playing a men's and women's basketball doubleheader tonight at the Patty Center. We'll update that action for you tomorrow. That's all the time we have for sports tonight. Remember to be right back here with us for more sports updates on our special Sunday newscast. For more KTVF sports, or if you want to interact with us sports folks, you can log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. Stick around for Holly Seiler and your full weather forecast coming up next.